Alright guys, back in the house. Took a break yesterday. I was watching the markets, but
People of New York, when they give us this kind of a
I was
vote,
what is this?
just incredible, and I guess
Must be Trump somewhere. Trump is in our house.
we're gonna end,
1 second,
very
sorry
high
guys.
level and get a lot more delegates than anybody project.
On that note, yeah, Trump did win. And won by a lot, so that's interesting. I mean, it's going to be a fun little debate if he actually gets through. It looks like it's against Hillary now, so I mean, there's always going to be Hillary versus someone, but so the markets had a really big rally last 2 days, and then today we've got a little bit of weakness coming through at the start of the European session. This is on the back of oil being on the dip. Now, oil is only pulled back about $1, hasn't really broken any of the lows from last night, so it's nothing aggressive just yet, but the story is pretty strong, and that's the story that we have Kuwait's striking oil guys back on the rigs now, so you know their output should increase. You had Russia coming out saying they're probably going to increase production. You got Iran not really interested in playing nice with the others, so it's very likely that if that alone was the case, then you see some pretty heavy selling coming through on oil. Now, the fact that we haven't got too aggressive just yet means I'm a little cautious into going counter trend against the stock market, but the stocks in particular, the one I favor, the DAX, is showing some signs of weakness. And you know, this is the open, so this is only the last 30 minutes. He had a little pop higher, but it's come back down. Now, we were to break some of these lows, we get oil rolling over as well, then the main move is going to be dollar CAD higher, which has had a tremendous run. I mean, it's you know, it's quite. I wouldn't. I mean, it's nothing more crazy than normal, but it is a tremendous run. This is the fact that you haven't had a substantial retracement, you know, back above a level which would hurt the sellers. So the sellers, you know, get involved every 200 or 300 pips, right? So you haven't had like an 800 pip or a 500 pip move really to get the market caught short, and that's the sort of move that I'll be looking for at the moment. Just generally, it looks pretty well positioned to have that bounce soon. You know, could go all the way down to 125ish first, but I think we are going to have a quite a large rally back towards 130 at some point, and if it's from here, then probably 132, maybe 134, and that would make it much more sense for cleaning out the shorts and just market positioning wise. It's very hard to get a market continue just going one way without having that clear up. And if oil is to have some renewed downside in the second half, as you know, say people just don't believe these producers are going to have any deal, then it is likely that, you know, at some point you're going to test the downside rather than the top side, and we've had quite a nice little stabilization lately, and it's always fun with the oil market. They do like to play games a little, and so downside would be my favoring at the moment, but I'm not there just yet, and easily down to say, I don't know, below 36 though, maybe 33, and in that scenario you'd get the same move of oil back up towards 133. But look, we are getting ahead of ourselves. We're trying to trade off that one piece of news about Kuwait, right? And then extrapolating everything else has been weak. Remember, we had breakouts on the Dow Jones. We had breakouts in the DAX in the last 2 days. Now, these are unlikely to be false breaks, so you should give the benefit of the doubt to the trend always. So we are basically looking to buy the Dow, buy the DAX, sell the dollar CAD until proven otherwise, until I see, you know, really that new higher lows, yeah, on so new lower highs here on the stock market for a couple of days. So at the moment it is still up for grabs what's going to happen, but it is one of those days where you may start to see reversals. It could just be for technical reasons in the one day, and it can, those are the, every time you do have those pullbacks, it can start something else bigger. But let's not get carried away ourselves. I mean, it's easy to want to sell everything because everything's so high. In particular, I mean, I've been selling Kiwi for many reasons, and it's, right now we're pretty much the buy levels that you'd be looking to buy if you're a bull. I'm hoping that we are at the turning point on many pairs, but a lot of the time that is wishful thinking, and I'm probably going to take most of my exposure off the table relatively quickly, rather than try to hold for 500, 600 pips or anything like that. Because all of my stuff's counter trend, because I don't feel the rally. So I'm much more thinking that this is going to fade into a sell-off, right? The stock market, oil, everything. But that's got me into trouble in the last couple of days. I'm floating down, 6-7% loss here on the DAX, and I've got to be careful that I don't let my losses influence my trading market reading, right? It's just, it can easily be that we're just in an uptrend now. Swear to God, that fucking MT4 comes through so loud on my speaker. Alright, so in a scenario where the DAX is going to roll over, and that this great news, and just generally today we are going to have some weakness, whether it be just short-term correction in the longer-term uptrend, or regardless of what happens, just assume that we're going to have a downside today, then you will see probably the euro have a topside test. Okay, and that's on the back of dollar yen being under pressure. So I mean, you could trade today just off these four charts: dollar, yen, euro. I mean, generally you can trade these four charts a lot as well. Oil and DAX, and you get a fair bit of market read about what's happening. They generally feed back into each other. So right now looks like the DAX has still got plenty of support. Oil's looking good. Dollar yen looking good for the selling into this. So I might actually sell into this a little bit more on this DAX. I'll just pause for a sec, just see what they want to do. See, what I'm doing here is I'm seeing dollar yen's moving. I'm seeing oil's moving. Generally DAX is going to go the same way as these two, yeah? And that's what we're just watching to see the price action, and go inside, see a little bit closer on the 5 minute. But if you look on the, say, the daily, you'll see that we did break out yesterday. Well, really it happened on Monday, but just pause that out. So probably on any sort of correction, just assume it's a correction, not a return to the downtrend that we've seen in stocks, then sometimes we do quite easily see a test of that previous support, so back down towards 10.1. That seems far away though today. It seems far away given the price action this morning. When I came in and I saw this at the beginning of the pre-market, so there's about an hour early where the futures are open, I did see a fair bit of selling coming through, and I thought maybe we're going to roll into a bit of a bearish day, but this is not suggesting to me that we're going to have one of those negative days. This is the real open, and it is surprisingly supportive. I mean, it's worth a punt on the short right now, but I'm already short, so I'll be adding to the position. I'm short way back. I think averaging level around 10.2. Just got caught. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it's just it's annoying that I didn't read the bullishness of that break. I usually don't get caught like that. So potentially, if we see a breakdown here of dollar yen, that could give the buy signal to go ahead and buy some euro. Or if we see like a big candle in oil, then it might give the impetus to get the sellers a bit more aggressive here. If it doesn't happen, right, if we don't get some more aggressive selling coming through, then the buyers, which are complete control in the DAX in the last few days, are probably just going to try and punch higher. You could feel the sellers being squeezed yesterday, and maybe today they're hoping they were going to get out, but it doesn't look like it's happening. Doesn't mean we're going to get a huge rally. It's just, take out the previous day's high. That will take out a bit more stops, and the market feeds off stops, feeds off easy trades. And the easy trade today was just sell on the Kuwait news. We have Draghi speaking, and we have some UK data today, so it's not data free. The Draghi could actually be interesting. That we do have ECB tomorrow. Okay, so Draghi could be a bit more important than usual. Doubt that he actually speaks before the ECB meeting, though. I don't think he's, but I don't know the rules. Some of the central banks have rules about not speaking before. The Fed definitely does, but I think I don't know if the ECB has that. But that's the time, and that's only in 2.5 hours. If he does want to, say, simmer down the expectations tomorrow, and sometimes they play, they try to control public perception and the market's perception of what's going to happen. There isn't much expectation for anything this meeting, but I think he knows that the euro is so close to the big breakout level that he doesn't want it to break higher. He doesn't want the trend to start up on a euro. And that's what it will look like on the euro if we do get that break. And then once the trend starts, it's very hard to control. It could go to 120, it can go to 130. Now, if the popular perception is that the ECB has run out of bullets, then remember what happened with the dollar yen when it felt like that against the BOJ. It was a huge sell-off, multi-month sell-off on the dollar yen. And so that's always a scenario which can happen here. But the funny thing is that the DAX is no longer reacting too much to the euro moves. And the euro moves in general actually are starting to decouple from the dollar yen moves. And so what you have right now is that the euro yen, let me bring that chart if I can find it. The euro yen is now linked up with the, let's bring it up. Euro yen is now linked up with dollar yen, and that's the main mover. Yeah, so you keep an eye on euro yen rather than euro in terms of trading. In relation to the stock market, the euro is doing its own little thing, mucking around, very hard to trade at the moment from sentiment and trying to read what the bigger players are trying to set up. But I think the default assumption is that we're going to test 115 at some point. Yeah. It's just sticking around. It's not like the other times we've had a little rally up to 115. This one is a little bit more dangerous. We mucked around here for 2 weeks. All these other guys had a stab and came back down. I mean, we did come back down a little bit, but that's not much, and it didn't break the channel. So read into that. I mean, that's bullish as. Alright, so get a little bit more selling here in the oil. I think you really have to start seeing like 2 or 3% though. to get it. This is actually oil straight, which is a artificial market, not a month-to-month market. I can bring up the other one, which is what you'll probably be more used to seeing in a sec. I think it's like 40 at the moment, not 41.5. But it doesn't matter so much. I'm just playing off the moves rather than I don't trade oil too much. So I'm just watching the relative movements rather than the actual price levels. Just sold some DAX. Yeah, so we're watching the market develop, then we got the UK data, and then you got the ECB market the minutes there. Sorry, speech. I mean, what is it? Description due to speak ECB generation Euro competition doesn't. The topic doesn't look like it's going to be anything spectacular, that's for sure. Though oil tonight's got the oil inventories as well. Remember a couple of weeks ago we had that massive drawdown compared to what we were expecting, and that got half the rally. It was like a huge rally that next 2 days. And the housing data was surprisingly weak from the US last night. That was building permits and house starts. Tonight we've got the existing home sales. And to wrap it up, we have BOC Governor Poles. Now, he didn't move the market yesterday. So I don't know if he's trying to jawbone at all, but he's definitely not doing a good job if he is. Same with the RBA governor. He's not doing much to help the Aussie fall. I think that they really can't cut rates while the iron ore, copper and oil are recovering. It's probably prudent for them to wait, right? If the market crashes again in all the commodities, then you want to have some dry powder to be able to do something. I was hoping for a bit more action here on the oil, so we get some follow through. Let's have a look at the euro though. Yeah, in terms of the quality of the video coming through, changed it down the bottom. What we're probably going to do though is try out Twitch, try out a few different streaming softwares, a few settings on the software, see what works best. I haven't got a crazy fast internet connection, but I've got a pretty fast internet connection, especially for Australia. So I thought that I should be able to handle it, but we'll see. I might have to upgrade it. I've got cable, not 80, so. Another trade we're looking at a little bit is an Aussie yen sell. This is given to me by Jenny. Jenny in the chat room talking about the trade. Made sense to me, so I hopped on earlier. But it's not going to go down if stocks don't go down, so you know, it's a proxy for selling stocks as well. Yeah, I am. Not from NBN either. So, Australia's got notoriously slow internet, right? I mean, compared to the rest of Asia, it's just ridiculous. It's actually, it's pretty much a joke compared to the rest of the world. But we are trying to do something. It's just such a big country. It's hard to lay out in a cost-effective way, everything. But I think it should be done no matter what the cost. I think everyone should have super fast net. You know, it's so important for the next forever, not just the next, not just 50 years, next couple of stages of the economy, but it's just, you know, we have to. It should be the backbone. It's like as important as roads to me. But you know, obviously the older generation doesn't give a shit as much. When we're run by a little bit like farmers here, they're half the correlation, but we'll see. So what has Viper got himself into? How's Nick's account going? It's sticking around the 198, so it hasn't really moved too much. He still wants this selling to come through. This is a new little program that Nick got created, a little indicator. It's going to tell you what the chart is and also who's done the trades. Alright, so we've got a bit of action here on the pound yen. Some new ones in from our friend Smart. So Smart wants the market to rally today. Smart wants the DAX to continue to be bought on the dip, and we're going to see if that's the case for him. He'll get out of this very easy if that happens. That donation stuff and the like the mortgage thing, and then Potter streaming across. Potter gave a donation a couple of days ago. It's just stolen the applications that Twitch do, so it just overlays on top of this stream. They've actually got a shitload. If you go and watch some of the Twitch channels, you'll see some crazy stuff going on the video. But I don't want to put too much on just because it will interfere with the visualization a bit. So, but we are going to integrate a chat, and we're going to integrate this video onto the website at some point. Most of the time it's just going to be the Nick's account up and running, just to give a highlight of watching you know, trades come through. So oil, Euro's having a little bit of a bounce here. What's going on? Oil's rolling over. DAX is still not playing. Name of the program is Open Broadcast, which is the most common one. Time for a little bit of reading, boys. What have we got here today? My favorite, which is this early market read. Just a good rant. I like to read each day. Remember, you can get access to this chat room via FXWW. One of my friends runs it, named Sean Lee, an ex-Deutsche Bank trader. Might be a new account. Yeah, okay. He's does recruiting for the hedge funds as well, so it's not a bad little place to get involved in. It's only $50 a month. Back down. New Zealand dollar, don't cause a problem. This New Zealand sell-off, New Zealand dollar should be something that comes back down ahead of the RBNZ or post RBNZ, but I was a little keen. Still a trade which is looking okay is Aussie Kiwi, guys. Aussie Kiwi is definitely still on the cards here. Remember we had that big reversal on the back of that oil news, right? And it hasn't recovered at all. And the main reason is that there was a little bit of, in here, there was some CPI data that was quite strong as well. But generally you can't keep this pair down, in my opinion, so I don't mind buying the dips. I was just waiting to see if it was going to take out the stops, and it didn't seem to. It's like it's rolling up now, so it might be a nice little buy here. Maybe buy 10-15 pips lower than here, 111. No rush, it's not moving anywhere too quick. But yeah, Aussie Kiwi now seems like a very good, safe trade. You're buying here ahead of the RBNZ, given that the market will sell New Zealand dollar either before or after. And even if, you know, well, I mean, I can't imagine the RBNZ messes up that bad, but you know, RBNZ's not like the Bank of Canada, and it's not like Australia, RBA. It's close to cutting. There's still 2 cuts factored in. They've got some serious problems in their inflation outlook, and they've got some serious problems in their what was it? It's definitely not the housing prices. They've got overheating housing prices, but I think it was manufacturing. No, business confidence was really weak. And so it's, you know, those sort of things which allows the central bank to do something. And usually what you have is speculation about potential rate cut leading up to the announcement provides half the selling. So that's the main reason to get involved and buy Aussie Kiwi, as next week they get involved in that. So I'll be buying and holding and then taking profit a little bit before, maybe half your trade before the meeting, and then seeing what the price action is after and what they say. If they're ultra bearish or they do surprise cut like the last time they did, you'll see the market break 113, probably head towards 114 on the day. Yeah. There's a lot of room if we get above here to get back to a monthly. What's this? What is this? So, you know, we're in the bottom end of this very long multi-year range. Break above 114, targets 120. Fairly simple trade. Haven't really been scrolling this down, have I? Nah, you bastards, you can wait. I'm just checking some other charts, seeing what's going on. Just a quick market check. Alright, so we're selling DAX, and we're actually, the other trade we got going is a little bit of short Aussie yen and also a long Euro CAD. It's just a sneaky little Euro CAD. But this is good. This is good. This is good. This is good. This is not helping. Everything just, you know, roll together, it makes trading so much easier. But you rarely get what you want, yeah. So I have the plan actually today, because I sold this and got caught a day or so ago on the DAX. I want to actually hedge it down a little bit lower. So wherever we get to new day lows, I want to be hedging, which is longing to counter my short, because I don't think today's sell-off is going to be that substantial if we get one. It's just too much good mood. Good news, not good news, but just good feeling out there. It's crazy. Does not make sense to me at the moment, but I'm not going to fight it aggressively just yet. Let's have a check in on our friend Smart's trades here. So he actually wants the market to go the opposite way to me. He wants the stock market to rally. Looks like he's winning now. I mean, obviously he entered a little bit too early. I think he's got the right trade. Remember, pound's been turned into quite a bull after it broke that downtrend. We didn't test new lows, so it's bottoming at least. Interesting to see how it goes as we get closer to the Brexit vote, but at the moment it's looking very strong. That's the downtrend break I'm talking about. Oh, Dax, if you fall. If you want me to look at a particular pair, I can, guys. I'm just going to be doing a bit of reading here. Actually, I'm going to do some reading on another page. It probably doesn't look nice for you guys, so just leave those charts up. Also, I want to see those charts. I don't want to cover them up. Oil's a troublemaker. Everything about selling today is on the back of oil falling. Not having a small retreat, but a serious sell-off. So I think a lot of the sellers will chuck the trade in if they can't get some selling on the back of Kuwait stopping its strike. I mean, that's the main reason we rallied so much, right? Technically, obviously, it's strong that we've got bought up on that dip in the Monday Open, but I don't trade technically. Which gets me in trouble when the market obviously is showing you wants to go up. Ostensibly this is the rally, right? But most of it maybe is just technical buying on the dip. But the news reason, the sentiment reason given was that Kuwait strike was cutting so much production. But the strike's over after 2 days and we get selling of just $1. Price action is more important than anything. US earnings season so far has been pretty strong as well. That's helping. Yeah. Also, the lack of fear about China is helping as well. That's just underpinning. Fed not raising rates, China being stable, oil not selling off when it should. Very bullish signs for the market. Very bullish signs for Aussie. Very bullish signs for CAD. Jesus Christ! I'm talking myself into a CAD bull here, and I've already sold it. Just short term, I think the CAD's overbought. if some of this music sounds familiar, guys, it's Hans Zimmer. Now, Hans Zimmer writes a lot of the background music for a lot of different movies. It's actually a Hans Zimmer playlist, actually, so it's not Hans Zimmer right now. But this one sounds really familiar. I don't know who it is. Oh, sorry, the name of the movie where I saw this. It's a recent one. I think Interstellar. Let me check it. X-Men. It's the X-Men trailer for the latest X-Men. It's looking like the buyers are back in control. Oh, he's out. How much did he go with? Oh, smack dead. So he's a little bit concerned about his entry, obviously, and he's just got out at dead even. Who made that money today? I think that was probably Phil. He trades Aussie a lot. Phil being Kilimanjaro. Have to have a little chat with Jenny about our Aussie yen sell here. I didn't get a stop loss from her. I might need one. Yeah, let's see how much gusto this rally's got. I don't expect it to go crazy. I think we're gonna just take out maybe 10-4. You know, the market can still roll into a very negative day today. It's just it's unlikely to. Now, everyone's got the same information. If they're not selling aggressively, then it's the buyers are still winning. They had a go. Yeah, I'm closing that short Aussie yen here. Closing my short Kiwi as well. Just I'll look for better levels, better entries, and sell if the market rolls into negative. Alright boys, that's enough for just this moment. Pretty sure we've covered most of the things here. I'm going to step back in though at probably at the ECB speech, Mario's speech, if he says anything. Also, if we start to get rollover in the DAX and oil, I'll step in and let you know how I'm playing it. But yeah, we didn't get any solid entries at the moment. We're just waiting for some clear direction. I don't really want to follow the trend here right so high. on some of those pairs, so I'm not really going to be tracking this. You know, I'm not buying oil, I'm not buying DAX up here, not yet anyway. So I'll be just watching to see if the market rolls over. Then I might get in on the short side on either of those. Also, I'm looking at Aussie Kiwi as well as a long, to be starting to buy into that. Looks pretty strong. If there's no questions, I'll just leave it there. I'll be back in a couple hours.